At the outset, I would like to offer my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dear and beloved Swami, whose story relating to an earlier incarnation I am narrating as a part of the series. Loving Sai Ram to you all dear listeners, and greetings as usual from Prashanthi Nilayam. If you recall, last time I broke off at the point where Rama takes leave of sage Agastya and proceeds to a spot recommended by the sage. I also told you that on the way they meet a vulture named Jatayu, who introduced himself as an old friend of Dasratha and offered to serve Rama by protecting Sita while Rama and Lakshmana were away from their residence. We start from that point. After traveling for a while, the royal trio finally reached the spot they had been directed to go to, and one look at it captivated them all. Conveying his appreciation of the region, Rama said to Lakshmana, "Brother, this place is truly wonderful. Why don't you look around a bit and select a suitable spot where we could have a hut?" Bowing to Rama and speaking with great humility, Lakshmana replied, "Dear brother, when you are there, how can I make a decision on my own? Are you not aware that I am totally subservient to you and have absolutely nothing of my own, including wishes? Your wish is my wish. Therefore, you please choose the place, and the hut shall be built there." Deeply moved, Rama immediately embraced Lakshmana, selected a spot not far from the Godavari river and said, "Lakshmana, this is where we shall have a hut, with Jatayu being with us in the neighborhood." The site having been selected, Lakshmana went to work with characteristic speed and thoroughness. When the hut was completed, they all went down to the river to have a holy dip, following which the rituals associated with entering a new dwelling were meticulously gone through. It was only then that the three entered and settled down in their new home. It was a beautiful setting, and everything pointed to a pleasant stay till the exile period ended. That, however, was not to be. Soon after they settled down, one day while Rama was seated along with Sita and Lakshmana outside their beautiful hut and engaged in general conversation, a Rakshasi named Surpanaga, the sister of the dreaded Ravana, reputed to have 10 heads, wandered into that neighborhood. Though the ogress first sighted Rama from a distance, the moment she saw him, she was smitten, being captivated by his extraordinary radiance. Lust took possession of her, and unmindful of her own ugly and uncouth appearance, she approached Rama and asked in a hoarse as well as harsh voice, "Who are you? You seem to be new to this place. Are you not aware that this is the abode of augurs? You men are dressed like hermits, but are carrying weapons which hermits do not. What is the purpose of your coming here?" Although Surpanaga radiated nothing but evil, Rama responded to her quite politely and said in a soft voice, "I am the son of Emperor Dasratha. Rama is my name. This here is my younger brother Lakshmana, and the young lady over there is my wife Sita, the princess of Videha. I am here on the command of my parents to spend some time in the forest, leading a virtuous life. Just as you were, I too am curious to know something about you. Who are you, and who is your husband? You appear to have the power to assume any form. What brings you here?" Stricken with passion, the Rakshasi replied, "O Rama, listen carefully to what I have to say. I am an ogress Surpanaga by name. I live alone in this forest, striking terror into the heart of anyone who dares to enter here. I have a brother Ravana by name. I wonder if you have ever heard of him. He is extraordinarily brave, and so is his brother Kumbhakarna, when he is not asleep, that is. There is a third brother named Vibhishana, but he is of a different mold and leads a pious life, which of course is totally alien to us augurs. I have two other brothers named Kara and Dushana, also famed for their martial abilities. Rama, from the moment I saw you, I have fallen madly in love with you and simply cannot live without you. I must have you as my husband. Don't worry about the skinny woman whom you call your wife. I shall devour her in no time at all, along with that brother of yours. We two can then live happily together, free from any botheration. Far from being outraged, which he had every right to be, Rama just smiled and said, "As you are aware, I am not only married but also have my wife right here. I think it would be better for you to approach my brother Lakshmana over there. As you can readily see, he is all by himself. He therefore would be a better choice as a husband. Why don't you approach him?" Finding some merit in this possibility which had not occurred to her, Surpanaga then approached Lakshmana. For a moment, Lakshmana was taken aback by this development, but quickly catching on to the divine game, he too decided to play Surpanaga along. Thus, when she made her plea, Lakshmana replied in what seemed like a pathetic voice, "O mighty woman, do you realize what you are asking for? I am but a mere servant of my brother, and if you were to marry me, your status would be that of a maid servant. Just pause for a moment and ask yourself whether that is what you want to be." Surpanaga was now outraged and realized that through this sham drama, she was in fact being insulted. Eyes flaming, she rushed towards Sita, whereupon Rama immediately commanded Lakshmana, "Brother, it's time to stop jesting and act firmly. Mutilate this ugly and vile ogress, but do not kill her." In a flash, Lakshmana drew his sword and cut off the nose as well as ears of Surpanaga, even as she screamed in pain. Drenched with blood, wailing and howling, Surpanaga rushed to where her brother Khara was and collapsed before him. Khara and all those in his company were shocked and stunned, for never before had they ever seen this fearsome ogress receive as much as a small cut during her numerous battles. Boiling with fury, Khara exploded, "Sister, this is just unbelievable. Clearly, the one who has dared to disfigure you in this manner is not aware that he has written his own death warrant. Just tell me who mutilated you in this gruesome manner, and leave the rest to me." Narrating all that happened, Surpanaga concluded, "Dear brother, I am thirsting for the blood of that woman and those two men. It is only when I drink their blood that I would be fully avenged and my anger would subside." Khara then immediately dispatched 14 of his toughest augurs along with Surpanaga with orders to kill those responsible for injuring and humiliating her. Even as the attack party was approaching, Rama spotted Surpanaga. Warning Lakshmana, he said, "Brother, I see trouble ahead. You stay with Sita while I make short work of these augurs." Walking towards Khara's minions, Rama demanded, "Why do you want to attack us? We are the sons of Dasratha and have come to this forest for just leading an austere, simple and peaceful life, subsisting on roots, tubers and fruits." The leader of the attack party replied, "We have come here because our master, the all-powerful Khara who holds sway over this forest, has ordered us to kill you. You have not only intruded into his territory, but also caused severe injuries to his sister. Prepare now to meet your end." However, their bravado was short-lived, and in the encounter that followed, they were all slain by Rama in no time at all, even as Surpanaga watched with great dismay from a distance. This was a disastrous setback, one that Surpanaga had least expected. Fleeing once more to Khara's presence, she lamented how the latter's plan had been foiled, almost in an instant. Khara was astounded, for never before had he faced such a situation. Clearly, the adversaries were much stronger than he had earlier supposed. Summoning his brother Dushana, who also acted as his general, Khara said, "Get ready immediately an army of 14,000 of our best soldiers, and also prepare my chariot. I intend to personally lead the attack and teach those intruders a fitting lesson." The forces were rapidly mobilized, and riding in his chariot, Khara led it from the front, fuming with fury. En route, Khara saw many ominous signs and became worried. But he rode on nevertheless, propelled by the thirst for revenge. Rama also noticed those same ominous signs, and immediately thereafter saw the huge dust cloud raised by the approaching forces. Summoning Lakshmana, he said, "A huge army is coming towards us. The army might be big, but I can take care of it. You attend to the more important task of hiding Sita in a safe place and standing guard. Leave all the rest to me." Instructions given, Rama then marched forward, bow in hand, all by himself, waiting for the Rakshasa forces to come closer. Meanwhile, celestial beings gathered in huge numbers to witness the impending fight, as did many rishis who lived in the neighborhood and had often been victimized by Khara and his minions. It was an extraordinary battle, with 14,000 heavily armed and powerfully built augurs on one side riding in chariots, horses, etc., and Rama all by himself on the other side, standing on the ground with just a bow in hand. In terms of numbers, it might have seemed like 14,000 versus 1, but in this case, numbers meant nothing. In the beginning, thousands of Khara's soldiers surrounded Rama and tried attacking him from all directions. But such was Rama's power that they soon all lay dead. Shocked and stunned, Dushana then ordered 5,000 of the troops directly under his control to launch a second wave of attack, himself leading the assault. Once again, Rama made short work of them, with everyone in that huge group, including Dushana, biting the dust. By now, all the 14,000 of Khara had been slain by Rama, single-handed. Indeed, only two of the original party were left, namely Khara and his second general, Trishira, who had 3 heads. Bragging loudly, Trishira offered to Khara to take on Rama all by himself, and Khara agreed. Valmiki compares the fight between Rama and Trishira to that between a lion and an elephant. The fierce encounter that ensued ended with Rama chopping off every one of the 3 heads of Trishira with appropriate astras. Khara was now all alone, and when he finally faced Rama for a one-to-one combat, it began with a war of words. Rama chided Khara for being so cruel and killing innocent rishis leading pious lives, while Khara accused Rama of vanity. Words soon gave way to weapons, and a fierce battle ensued, which was the climax of all that had transpired thus far. The battle was watched keenly by a big group of Devas, Gandharvas and Siddhas, and of course the rishis who lived in the region. Eventually, Rama prevailed and Khara lay dead, the battlefield presenting a gory spectacle with thousands of bodies strewn all over, even as those who had gathered to witness the battle cheered and danced with joy. In the divine master plan, one major step had been completed, with Rama emerging the unquestioned victor. However, many more strange twists and turns of destiny were round the corner, as Rama would soon discover. Battle over, Rama entered his hut to rejoin Lakshmana and Sita, who rejoiced when they heard about the amazing victory achieved by Rama. Meanwhile, Akampana, one of the few survivors of Khara's clan, rushed to Lanka to give Ravana the grim news. When Ravana heard Akampana's narrative, especially how Rama single-handedly wiped out Khara, Dushana and their entire army, he stroked his chin and became lost in thought. Breaking out of his silence, he then said, "Looks like I have some important work to do. Akampana, you don't worry. I shall personally come to Janasthana and take care of these two intruders from Ayodhya." Unlike Ravana, Akampana had personally witnessed the amazing might and the extraordinary power of Rama. Feeling that it was his duty to caution Ravana, he said, "Forgive me, O mighty one, but I do have to bring to your notice the fact that Rama's strength cannot be underestimated. At the risk of annoying you, I would go so far as to say that conquering Rama is as impossible as it is for a sinner to enter heaven. However, this does not mean that there are no ways of getting back at Rama. Indeed, I have an eminent plan, and I seek your indulgence for a few moments, during which I outline it." Ravana indicated his consent by nodding his head, whereupon Akampana continued, "You see, O king of Lanka, this Rama has a wife named Sita, a woman of matchless beauty. All you have to do is to somehow induce Rama to go to the forest and snatch Sita during Rama's absence. Rama loves Sita so much that without her he would start pining and withering away and would soon be dead. Thus, in this scheme, you not only get rid of Rama but also get Sita as a prize." Having submitted what he thought was a clever plan, Akampana waited to see what Rama's reaction was. Ravana did not respond immediately, engaged as he was in examining Akampana's proposal. A couple of minutes later, Ravana broke into a smile, even as Akampana felt relieved. Eagerly he asked, "O Lord of Lanka, what have you decided?" Ravana replied, "Akampana, I think I like your idea, and tomorrow I shall put your plan into action. You may go now." Pleased with himself, Akampana then withdrew. Next morning, boarding his flying chariot Pushpakam, Ravana flew across the skies and over the sea and headed for a remote spot in the forest where his relative Maricha, the son of late Tataki, lived. Maricha was surprised by Ravana's unexpected arrival and, after welcoming him with all the respect due, said, "O monarch, I certainly am very glad to see you. But busy as you always are in Lanka with various affairs of the state, your unusual presence here fills me with some apprehension. Is everything all right back home?" Ravana replied, "Maricha, you have guessed correctly. I have come here because a certain problem has arisen." Ravana then went on to narrate in full how Khara, hitherto held to be invincible, had been exterminated along with his entire army by Rama, single-handed. This was a supreme insult that had to be avenged. Direct battle would certainly be one way of seeking revenge, but sometimes a clever strategy could achieve the same result with hardly any military losses. Ravana then briefly explained Akampana's plan about abducting Sita, adding, "Maricha, I have come to you because I want your help in implementing this plan." When Maricha heard Ravana's plan, he was deeply alarmed, and with good reason too, having faced Rama many years earlier when he and Subahu tried to disturb the yajna performed by sage Vishwamitra. Shaking his head slowly as if to convey his disagreement, Maricha said softly, O mighty king, I have always been your loyal supporter, well-wisher and friend. Hearing the scheme you have just outlined, it seems to me that this so-called advice has been given to you by your worst enemy. No matter what you might think of me, I would strongly urge you to never even think of tangling with Rama. Far easier it is to pull out the fangs of the deadliest snake than to face the wrath of Rama. According to your own description, Rama single-handedly wiped out an entire army of several thousands of powerful Rakshasas, besides Khara, who we all thought was invincible. What more proof do you want of Rama's might and valor? Maricha continued, Ravana, back in Lanka you have plenty of wealth and so many wives. Go back to them and be happy there enjoying yourself in any way you want. Why invite unnecessary trouble? Believe me, I am saying all this for your own good. I am fully aware of your power, might and achievements. However, there are times when it becomes necessary to realize that all these might not serve us in good stead. When such situations arise, it is best to sidestep the problems and move on. Once more I stress that I am neither underestimating nor underrating you. However, I have had a personal encounter with Rama and I am therefore speaking from practical experience. I do hope you appreciate the spirit in which I have spoken and do not misread my words. Ravana reflected for a minute on the rather frank and blunt analysis given by Maricha and decided that the latter was probably right. Dropping his plan for abducting Sita, Ravana flew back to Lanka even as Maricha heaved a big sigh of relief, little aware that Ravana would soon come again with the same request. Meanwhile, Surpanaka, who not even in her wildest dream could have imagined an entire army being wiped out by a single person, felt utterly devastated. Unable to contain her fury, she immediately fled to Lanka and flung herself before her brother Ravana, who was holding court. Sobbing uncontrollably and burning with rage, she screamed, O great one whose sight makes the three worlds tremble! Can you see the pitiable state I am in and how badly I have been mutilated? Are you aware that there now exists on this earth a person who can with impunity humiliate your dear sister in this manner? Are you conscious of a new danger that has arisen on the horizon? Here you are surrounded by your admiring servants, supporters and psychopaths, immersed in seeking enjoyment and pleasure. And so absorbed are you in self-glorification that you do not seem to know that 14,000 of your people have been made short work of, along with their leader Khara and his general Dushana, by just one individual named Rama. Can you imagine one single person wiping out so many thousands all by himself? And yet here you are feeling so safe and secure. You don't believe me? Then look at my wounds. These are not mere wounds. They have been inflicted to insult and mutilate me and also to strike terror in your heart. I warn you here and now, right in the presence of all these members in this august assembly. You are under grave threat. If you do not take immediate notice of it but continue to wallow in self-indulgence, then not only your position and kingdom would be in danger, but your very life itself. Don't claim later that you were never warned in advance. I have done all that I could and now it's entirely up to you. I shall merely add that at least to amid the insult inflicted on me and through me to our entire clan, you must think of some form of revenge. Ravana was clearly rattled, especially by the manner in which Surpanaka addressed him so bluntly and publicly. Although he had been privately told earlier by Akampana of the total annihilation of Khara and his troops, he acted as if he was hearing all this for the first time. Angered and insulted by the manner in which Surpanaka addressed him, Ravana roared, Who is this Rama? What's he doing in Dandakaranya? What's his principal weapon? And how did he manage to kill, as you say, so many thousands single-handed? I want to know immediately all those details. Surpanaka then gave Ravana and his entire assembly a full description of Rama, Lakshmana and Sita, how they had come to Dandakaranya as exiles, how she chanced to come across them, how she came to be insulted, how she sought the help of Kara, how Kara and Dushana took an entire army only to face total extinction, etc., etc. Surpanaka then added, Ravana, there is one more thing I must bring to your notice, and that concerns Sita. She is of matchless beauty and beyond description. In fact, I actually tried to bring her with me since I felt that she really belonged to you more than anyone else. She is a consort worthy of you, and I have no doubt that you would make an ideal husband for her. I think I have given you enough reasons why you must get rid of Rama and Lakshmana immediately and also claim the prize that really ought to be yours. As soon as Surpanaka finished, Ravana dismissed the assembly, indicating that he wanted to think in seclusion. Withdrawing to his inner chambers, he almost became lost in thought. Snapping suddenly out of the contemplative mood, Ravana then went unobserved by anyone to where his special chariot was parked and asked his charioteer to get it ready as quickly as possible. Once the chariot was ready, Ravana boarded it and became airborne. Climbing to an impressive height, he then flew over Lanka and after crossing the ocean, headed for Maricha's residence and landed close to it. Parenthetically, it might be remarked that after several encounters with Rama, Maricha had turned spiritual, created a small ashram for himself in the Dandakaranya region, and began leading the life of an ascetic. He was thus greatly disturbed when Ravana came to him earlier with a dangerous request. However, when Ravana went back to Lanka after disappearing to the wise council, Maricha felt much relieved. Imagine therefore his surprise and shock on seeing Ravana return so quickly. With much trepidation, Maricha said, Ravana, I humbly welcome you once more to my small abode. You called on me just a short while ago and then returned. But you are back again so quickly. What could be the reason, may I know? Ravana replied, Maricha, I have come again to discuss once more my earlier plan regarding Sita. When I visited you last, I no doubt told you about the total annihilation of Kara and his entire army. But what I did not tell you then was about the humiliation inflicted on dear Surpanaka. I came to learn of it only later when Surpanaka herself rushed to my presence and narrated all the gory details. I ask you, Maricha, how can we allow a person banished by his own king to inflict such damage, injury and humiliation to our clan? Do you seriously believe that I, who have ruled unchallenged thus far and am feared by everyone in all the three worlds, could allow such an insult to go unavenged? I have to take action and I need your help. That is why I have come again. Ravana paused, allowing his words to sink in. For his part, Maricha merely listened and did not respond. His worst fears, which he thought had gone away, now returned, greatly enhanced. Meanwhile, Ravana continued, Maricha, I have a powerful army, a valiant brother in Kumbhakarna, and the unconquerable Indrajit as my son. In short, where sheer might is concerned, I lack nothing. However, this is a moment for cunning, surprise, and trickery. In those departments, you are supreme and not easily matched. And that is the reason why I have come back to you. Now, here's what I want you to do. Firstly, using your powers, you must assume the form of a golden deer of dazzling beauty, embellished with glittering silvery spots. In every respect, this animal must be truly out of this world. Next, bearing the form of this enchanting deer, you must wander near the hut where Rama and Sita live. Make yourself prominently visible so that Sita does not miss seeing you, because that is crucial to our plans. The moment she sees the deer, she is bound to be captivated by its beauty and ask Rama and Lakshmana to capture it for her so that she could have it as a pet. Rama and Lakshmana would then come after you, and that is when you should sprint away, drawing them deep into the forest. Once the two brothers are gone, I shall grab Sita and make a rapid exit. Thereafter, pining for Sita, Rama would become emaciated and weak. That is when I shall encounter him face to face and get rid of him. After Rama is gone, Sita would be entirely mine. It's all very simple really, and I am sure I do not have to explain it all in any greater detail. As Maricha heard Ravana's plan, his mouth became dry, while his heart sank. It was patently evident to him that Ravana's plan was fatally flawed and a disastrous folly. But how to communicate the obvious to one whose mind was shut and held captive by anger, hatred, and lust? At times, performing one's duty could become very hard and extremely difficult. Even so, dodging duty was not an option. Taking that broad view, Maricha cleared his throat and slowly said, Ravana, there are times when those who speak sweet words are really enemies, while those who reveal the bitter truth are true friends. You may not like what I am about to tell you, but my duty to you demands that I do so nevertheless. Let me first of all inform you that Rama has not been disowned by his father, nor has he transgressed any moral bounds. In fact, he voluntarily agreed to go on exile into the forest and lead an austere life, mainly to uphold a promise made by his father to his queen Kaikeyi. There was near unanimous objection to Rama giving up the throne, but Rama decided that far better it was to place Sathya on the throne than for him to rule a kingdom which his father had agreed to give to his younger brother. Rama is virtue incarnate, while Sita is the embodiment of Shakti, that is, verily she is divine energy personified. Such is her power that she can protect herself without any help from Rama, although bound by the code of society, she would expect her husband to shield her. I shall not make this long. Let me just say that your plan is ill-conceived, is sure to backfire, and would eventually lead to your meeting Rama on the battlefield. And when Rama faces you as an adversary, you would in fact be facing death itself. Tell me, Ravana, is there anyone who has conquered death? Why invite death unnecessarily? It is true all of us have to go one day or the other, but why be in such a tearing hurry to do so? When I speak of Rama in superlative terms, you should be aware I am speaking from personal experience, and you know that I do not exaggerate. Maricha then narrated in detail his earlier experience at the time of the yajna conducted by Vishwamitra, after which he continued, At that time, the arrow that Rama shot at me did not kill me. However, such was its power that I was flung across the ocean into Lanka. Mercifully, I did not die. Slowly picking myself up, I then crossed over from Lanka to this land, eventually ending up in the Dandakaranya forest. Taking the form of a powerful stag with sharp horns, I teamed up with two other Rakshasas who had assumed the form of a deer. Together, we harassed rishis, killing and eating them when hungry. And when Rama came to this region, we tried to attack and kill him but failed. Rama's arrows killed my two companions. The third arrow was directed at me, and when I began to flee for my life, the arrow stopped chasing me. Later I learned that Rama's arrow never chases and kills a fugitive. Such is Rama's compassion. That close encounter changed me completely, and I decided to lead the life of a recluse, which is exactly what I am doing at present. I have seen the error in my earlier lifestyle and turned over a new leaf. And now you want me to go back to my past ways. I tell you, Ravana, the plan you are proposing is good neither for you nor for me. Please listen to me and desist from what you are trying to do. I think I shall stop here for today. I offer this talk to Bhagwan and I take leave of all of you, hoping that you would join me again next week for the next installment of his story relating to an earlier avatar when he came as Lord Sri Rama. Jai Sai Ram.